One, two, three. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another showing of the Valor Racing League on YouTube. My name is Slager, and today there's something a little special for you guys tonight. This is the VRL Playoff Pre-Show brought to you by WG Construction and Roofing. And today we're going to interview a few guys who are in the VRL Playoffs from our Speedway Collective National Series and our Pocono Raceway Cup Series. Should be a fun hour, 45 minutes or so. Going to get quick and just get some hype going for our playoffs coming in the next few weeks. First off, like I said, we've been interviewing, we got listed 10 total drivers from each series, 5 from our National Series, 5 from the Cup Series, all with different stories on how they got into their playoff run and their first playoff run. Some guys are second, but for Season 4 of the Valor Racing League. Around 8, let's see what time we got here now. We're a little late, obviously. That's the VRL time. Around 8:35, 8:30, we will start interviews with our National Series guys, starting with L. Griggs and Brennan, and we'll work our way all the way up to KD. And drivers like all that and in between. And around 8:55, around that, you will hear us go to our Cup Series drivers. We'll start with Coach Matt and Baronate on that, and we'll end with Mike and Max Boost. Should end around 9:20, 9:25. So if I had about an hour on your hour to do nothing, hour to listen to us, we appreciate your viewership. We're going to start off here tonight with a little review of our Speedway Collective National Series season. And it started all the way at Auto Club back in mid-November. It's been a while since Season 4 has gotten underway, but we started back at Auto Club, and that's where Birdster was able to capture his first win of the season, and first and only win of the season, there at Auto Club. Then we went to Dover in Atlanta. We had A-Strikes come in with a win at Dover, who unfortunately could not make many of the races. And went to Atlanta, Kentucky. The 1.5 miles brought great finishes. Coach Matt got to Atlanta with Ty of Hazard, who also is not in the playoffs. He got in Kentucky. A few wild weeks went to Glen, Daytona, and Las Vegas for races 5 through 7 of the season. Watkins Glen saw a hectic finish between Coach Matt and McLovin, who used to be in our series, which ended with McLovin get the W. Daytona as well, so McLovin win as he made a last pass on Coach Matt there. Then once again went to Vegas, New Hampshire, Kansas, where we saw Robbie Racing come through in these 3 races. Robbie Racing, he did finish P2 at New Hampshire and came with a great finish at Kansas as well. Coach Matt, do you have a copy? Is your audio set too loud before we start chatting here? All right. So Matt, before we go to the rest of the season we're reviewing here, I just said the hectic weeks, Watkins Glen, Daytona, Vegas. That was a hectic few races for you. Just when it was mid-season through the National Series season, as a driver, even as an owner, or just look at the season in general, what were your thoughts when you were going through that stretch of the season?
I definitely thought that I had a chance to win, all 3 of those. I'm sitting on 4 wins right now. Definitely thought I had a chance at, 6 or 7. But I mean, that's just how the sport works. It's really unpredictable.
Yep, after that stretch, we went to tracks like Michigan, Charlotte, Roval, and this is where we saw KD emerge. KD, who joined the season a little bit late, race 4 of the season. He started to come through, got a full-time ride in the 5 for Here to Win Esports, Mike RPM's team in the National Series, and he came through winning the Charlotte Roval. Even at tracks like Richmond and Chicago, came through strong there, winning Chicago as well, and also come through the W at Darlington and at Pocono, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, Matt. Matt won Pocono. Excuse me, that's right. That's right, excuse me. I thought Caleb Hunt, we forgot about that. That was a great stretch of the season as well. We had Darlington go to Caleb Hunt. That was probably the most hectic race of the season. I think most of our guys could agree. Darlington was a tough track just in general. But Caleb Hunt came with the upset at Darlington and punched ticket to the playoffs, which knocked out. He was 15th in the regular season standings to end the regular season, and with that, knocked out a driver who was sitting in the top 12. That was Joker Smoker, so he failed to make the playoffs because of that. And of course, Pocono, also a hectic race, had a few cautions early on, but great battle once again. Coach Matt Cady got very single file there. If we go back to Pocono, which was just a week ago, it got very spread out, in which brought for a stage 3, almost a cautionless stage 3, and when that Coach Matt was to get the W there. And that was what got us here to tonight. Those 15 races in the National Series season, seeing plenty of drivers get wins, but really a few shined. Coach Matt, Brennan, and McLovin no longer in the series. Those are the 3 guys who shined during the season, win wins. But when you come to points and how guys did during the regular season, you had Kit like Jason, Brennan, and Cyber come through with the points. And with that, we're going to start our interviews here. We're going to start off with L. Griggs. L. Griggs finished the regular season 11th in the standings, in the number 21 car, and overall had a very solid season and was contending with top 10s in its rookie year for the Valor Racing League and the Speak Like National Series. Griggs, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
All right, Griggs, your season's been up and down, your regular season, to say the least, up and down. Some points where you didn't really have the finishes you wanted, but overall you were consistently, and you got yourself into the playoffs, sitting 11th going in. How do you see yourself going through the playoffs? Like, where do you think you'll end up? Do you think you can maybe make a consistent runs, go through, and maybe go to the round 8, or where do you see yourself going for the playoffs?
Well, to be honest, Slade, I really don't have any expectations going into the playoffs. Being my first year, I just, I know everything. The people that I'm racing are tough racers. I mean, they've got it going on. I'm still learning everything, working out the kinks, so I'm just going to go in with my head down and try to do the best that I can do and just make a good run at it, man.
Yeah, for sure. And as well, I already mentioned how your regular season went, but for your standards of your first season, where would you rank your regular season in your first 15 races of the Valor Racing League?
Well, I think I'm right there at the verge of breaking through. I got to learn on a little better on building my setups. Like I said, everything's new to me. So I think the driving's getting me to mid pack, but I can get the setups down and get a little more practice and track time down. I think I'll be somebody to be up towards the front.
Yeah, for sure. Once again, this is your rookie season in the league in general, just total. So there's a lot of guys you're racing with that we're talking to here today. They've been racing for a few seasons, few years, and next up, this will be your rookie season. It's been very impressive. Let's see, one more question. You've had a season, I believe your season best finish is 7th, and it actually came in the closing races. I believe that was actually at Pocono, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. With that momentum building from your final few races of the regular season, coming to the playoffs, you got tracks like the Charlotte Oval. We're going to the Oval, the first race for the National Series, and then Road America. How do you see yourself doing with these 2 tracks coming up?
Well, to be honest with you, coming into the season, I didn't really know how I'd fare at the road courses, but I've actually had pretty good stage finishes and finishes at the road courses, and I think the best finish for me this season is at Darlington. I finished 6th, and then maybe 7th at Pocono. But the first race is a wild card for me, but I'm looking forward to the road course for sure.
All right, for sure. That is all we have for you, Griggs. Thank you for your time in the booths. An 11th seed in the playoffs going in. One of the underdogs for sure, L. Griggs. Thank you for your time, and good luck on your playoff run.
Yeah, man, thank y'all.
One thing I mentioned before we go to Brennan, we go to BBS Brennan here. Shout out to Griggs for coming along and sponsoring the VRL playoff season. This five stretch of races is sponsored by the Double G Construction and Roofing Company. Be sure to go. We put a flyer on our Twitter. There's numbers to contact if you need any help with construction and roofing in your area. Griggs can get you a little more information on that if you call us the right numbers. All right, next we go to Brennan, BBS Brennan. In the playoffs, Brennan, he goes in sitting seed number 9, which that is the cutoff. Top 8 after the first 2 races only go on. So Brennan's sitting 9th seed in the playoffs. I mentioned Griggs is actually tied for 10th seed. He's technically seeded 11th, but they have the same amount of points, 10th through 12th, with 1,000. And with 1,001 points, we'll talk to Brennan. Brennan, you got a copy?
I got a copy.
All right, Brennan, once again, you've been with us for a few seasons. You've been one of the regulars in the National Series, one of the guys that people kind of look up to, guys who we kind of bring up two, same as Cyber, who we talking to later in the show. Guys, where hey, if you want to drive like, if you want to make it in our series, drive like this guy. Usually point to you. Asking me questions, I asked Griggs, how would you view or rank your regular season and through the first 15 races?
You know, I'll be honest, it's been a little bit disappointing in my book. We're in the playoffs, which is what I wanted, but I think the expectation coming was, get a win or two, be up there with Birdster or Matt or KD. But we just haven't had the luck. We had a good run at Auto Club, and then we had a bunch of bad luck where we could have got better finishes than we should have. I point to the Roval. I point to Glenn. I point to Darlington. I had a good car, lagged out. But it's still been fun. I've still had my moments. I give it like a solid B minus, but I've definitely wanted to get some better results for sure.
Of course, and that goes to every driver's mind. You think you can do better than what you're doing. You want to do better than what you're doing. Even like I said, you had a very good season. You were seated. I want to say you were 8th in the standings when the regular season ended. So just a lack of playoff points puts you 9th. But you do have a playoff point going in. You have 1,001 points, which does put you 9th in the standings going in. And with some momentum coming in, like I said, one of the things that you just said, you lagged out a few races, had some bad luck for some races during the season. With that does kind of put you as an underdog going in, which you're seated 9th. How do you see yourself going through the playoffs? Do you think you can make it out of the round of 8, or round of 12, excuse me, onto the round of 8?
Well, round of 12, some of my best tracks. I really do like Charlotte, and I like Road America. Road courses in general are some of my favorites. That's where I ran the best or got some of my best finishes throughout the season. So the goal is definitely to get out of the round of 12. If I can get into the round of 8, Dega is not very nice to me. I love Phoenix. If we can get to that Final Four, I think we could do it.
High confidence from the driver to the number 19 for the Diesel Esports team. Brennan, thank you for your time. Like I said, high confidence from the 19. That will be the story going into the playoffs for this driver. Brennan, thank you for your time once again.
Thank you.
Next up, we go to let's double check this. Our 5th seeded driver. We jumped a few guys in standings. 5th seeded driver, Robbie Racing. Robbie, your first full-time, I believe your 2nd season full-time with us in the Valor Racing League. Had such a successful season, you've actually earned yourself a dual roster cup ride with how good you've done. But as you same question I asked Brennan, how would you rank your regular season? As like I said, you were seeded. If we go back to the regular season, you were 4th coming out of the regular season. Out of the first 15 races, you were 4th, the best driver without a win. I don't know if that's a stat you like, but overall your regular season, how would you describe it?
I mean, it's definitely had its ups and downs without a doubt. But coming into the playoffs, we're looking strong, and I'm looking to do the best I can, not only for myself, but for other UK drivers that want to come along and play the game, and for my team, Red Eye Racing, without a doubt. I'm definitely looking to do my captain proud. There's a lot of good drivers in this league, and especially in the nationals as well. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to what is to come in the playoffs, without a doubt. Sorry, I'm just actually going over my Charlotte setup now, ready for tomorrow night.
You're good, man. You're good. Some early practice going on for the number 4 team. You mentioned your team, Red Eye Racing. You've kind of been, because last year's season for the team hasn't been the best, because you've kind of been the main driver. You've put in the best results. Just haven't had the best luck with the team. But you're the only Red Eye Racing driver in the playoffs, Cup and National. So you got a lot on your back going in. How do you think you'll do for the team? How do you think you'll do in general for these next 5 races?
I think we're going to do all right. If I can manage to chat to my team and get a few of them on board helping me with setups and a bit more advice here and there, that'd be great. I mean, I know a fair bit, but I don't think I know everything just yet, and I know this game's been out for a while, but we're looking to do strong, without a doubt.
For sure. And once again, Robbie, you said you want to do it for all the Brits, all the non-US, the non-American people for the league. So, like I said, there are some things in the NASCAR Heat Community NASCAR game that are only allowed, American Canada, the North American area, just for travel and sake, of course. So, you have that representing you. How would it feel if you were going to win a championship this season, and, second season overall, and everything you're trying to represent?
Oh, mate, it would be fantastic if I could win everything overall, that'd be great. I mean, that would probably be one of the biggest successes of playing the Heat game, because I remember when I got Heat 3, I see the Pro League on there. I was like, what's this all about? So I checked it out on YouTube. Next year, now I'll see all you guys on there. So to actually be at the point that I am now, it's been a long journey for me since Heat 3, not just through Valor Racing League. I mean, it's just fantastic.
Sure, man. Well, a lot right on the back of number 4 of Robbie Racing. He looks to get it done and get his first championship of the Valor Racing League in just his second season. Thank you, Robbie, for your time. Look to catch you in the action tomorrow night.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Next up, we go to the driver that is 4th seeded coming in, 1,010 playoff or 1,010 points coming in, 10 playoff points, and he did get a win this season. His first win of his Valor Racing career came at Richmond. Now is the number 39 of Cyberon Gabionic for the Destroyer Motorsports team. And Cyber, you came in this season, just trying to, just how we saw you when we coming in. You're kind of like a top 5 guy, consistent top 5 guy, and you shine through and got your first win at Richmond. How would you rank your regular season, the first 15 races?
Definitely the season, like I pictured the moment I got drafted DMS. Like I had high hopes for this team, like being with Big D. I saw what he did last season in the Xfinity to win a lot of races. So when I got drafted by his team, I'm like, I'm going big to the top in this league for sure next season. Definitely a season of consistency like I had in my rookie season last season, which you mentioned. Brought it into this season with DMS, and I've taken off really good. Like, got great finishes, stayed consistent, you name it.
Yeah, when we came into out of race 15 at Pocono, you were seated 3rd. You were quite close to your season championship, just about 40 points out, which it's about a 1 race distance, about a 1 race from Bertster. So overall, very good season for you, and a lot of momentum. Except Richmond was not too long ago. That was when you got your first win. You've kept a lot of momentum since then. How do you think you'll do in these next few races, or in the playoffs in general?
I really like my chances tomorrow night for Charlotte because I finished the runner-up to our former driver McLovin in this series. If I can have that same type of feel tomorrow night, I can probably go for a top 3 or a win maybe. Road America, that's like a toss-up basically to the road courses and the non-road courses because it can really favor who got the better edge on the road course, like them or the non-ones. It's going to be a toss-up in that one, but I do like my chances of advancing to the round of 8. The round of 8, though, is going to be... that's going to be interesting because you got Dega, which is going to be a wild one for sure, and Phoenix. If I can just run consistent, maybe I could be in the championship for maybe. That's all I can say for you.
And yeah, Homestead going after that. How do you think your chances are at Homestead?
If I can get to the championship 4, I could be like an underdog / sleeper for that because if I can keep the consistency like I've had all season and let's say my other competitors don't really have that in that race, I could probably steal a championship away from those guys.
Yeah, you've been up those guys contending for wins in top 5s all season long. It's been a great season for you. Like I said, to get your first win, you were 3rd in the standings leaving the regular season. You're 4th seeded going in. So it's been a great season for you overall.
Yeah, it definitely has. Definitely one I saw for sure picturing.
Well, Cyber, thank you for your time in the booth. Like I said, a lot of momentum on your side. You got your first career VRL win just a few weeks ago. And you're going to track some of your favorites. We could see you in the championship 4. Thank you for your time, Cyber.
Thanks for having me.
And lastly, for the Speed Collective National Series side, we'll be going to KD, who came through later in the season and just went off, honestly. Dominated the Charlotte Roval. Chicago, had a very strong car and came through with the win there. KD, you got a copy.
Yep.
All right, Kay, like I said, you joined. Your story was a little different than probably anybody else's. You joined late. Race number 4, which was your first race. That was at Watkins Glen. And of course, we remember that you kind of had your PS4 leg out problems there, couldn't race, get the last place points though, which saved you from being able to run the playoffs. As everybody knows, the Valor Racing League, you have to run 12 of the 15 regular season races to be eligible for a championship. That's 80% of the season, and you were able to run 12 with that Watkins Glen race. But probably the hottest driver in the league right now. You're sitting 3rd, coming in 1,015 points, total of 15 playoff points. 2 wins, 5 stage wins. Some incredible stats for joining quite late. How would you rank your regular season?
I think it was great, and like like for custom setup wise, like you remember last season I was on your team and like I was a mid pack driver, like didn't really contend for any wins, and then like I didn't like plan on coming back this season, but then like kind of got the itch to come back once I like started getting into customs a little bit more. So then I came back. Well, first couple races when I was back, I was still kind of like mid pack ish, but like I think Kansas was the first race where I really like had like a top 3 car. And, like that was the first race like the week before when I was making my setup. Like everything just like clicked in my mind. Like everything like made sense for like customs and stuff. And like ever since then, I feel like I've had like at least a top 5 car every race. And races at the Roval in Chicagoland, those were great to run up front, win the race. Had a couple, I think I had winning speed, but didn't get it done. But yeah, it was a good regular season. It was really fun.
For sure, and you've been quick off season, almost pretty much any track you go to. You've been very fast, top 5 speed, and that's when you mentioned that you went into the after we left the regular season, after race 15, you were sitting 5th in the standings, and you only ran 12 races, as we said. Does that, I mean, like I said, it's regular season. You know, I assume that means a lot to you that you ran a fair amount of races less than guys you're racing with, and were right there with them. What kind of momentum does that bring into the playoffs for you?
I mean, the last like 4 or 5 races regular season have been like amazing, and being able to run up with those guys that have been good all year and just to come into the series like late and be competitive right off the bat, it's been like really good. Got a lot of confidence. I think we can go far.
Sure, man. Once again, I'll ask some questions I've asked the other drivers. Tracks you got coming up: Charlotte Oval, Road America. You dominated the road course, so it should be, unless something goes wrong, which you know anything could happen. The round of 12 should be an easy entrance for you. Should be click and go in for Road America. Charlotte should be really fast. How far do you think you'll make to the playoffs? Do you think you can make the round of 4, win the championship?
Like you said, for the round of 12, I've been working on my Charlotte setup a little bit. I think we got a good car for tomorrow, but for that's gonna be good as long as, like you said, nothing goes wrong. Road America, I love Road America. I like all the road courses for the most part, so I think we can get a top 5, hopefully better. But round of 8, it's what, Dega and Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Dega is going to be just a wild card. It's going to be about being at the right place at the right time. And Phoenix, I think we can get a good car. I like Phoenix, and I think if we get to the Final 4, we're going to have a good shot. I like Homestead. So I hope all the best guys get to Homestead so we can have a fun race for the title.
For sure, man. And once again, like I said, one of the hottest drivers in the Valor Racing right now. You've had a very impressive past few weeks, which is giving you a lot of momentum heading to the playoffs. And we cannot wait to see what you do in these next 5 races.
Yep, thank you.
That was KD, driver number 5 of the Here to Win esports team, looking to close it all up and get it done back in Homestead, as he's done pretty much all season. When that we've mentioned over these drivers, that's all the interviews for the National Series. Coming up in about 5 or so minutes, you'll have the Cup Series. But as we've interviewed the guys for the National Series, we mentioned the playoff races that we have coming up. The round of 12. There's only 5 races in the playoffs. Each round is 2 races, except for the final, of course. That is the finale at Homestead. But the round of 12 for our National Series guys features the Charlotte Oval and Road America. That is, it's a little different than the Cup Series. Those two change a little bit there. The round of 8 for the National Series, it goes to Talladega and Phoenix. And like we said, the round of 4, the championship race will go to Homestead, Miami. So it'll be very interesting to see who will be able to get it done there. And lastly, we're going to give our predictions here, our who we think we're going with our go-to winner for the championship, who our sleeper is going to be. I could see Coach Matt getting it done. I think Coach will be the most consistent driver all season. Katie, of course, will get on there. He's been fast late. I think those two will fight for the championship. But my sleeper pick, I'm going to go with Robbie Racing. He's a sleeper for just the reason, the fact that he's sitting 5th in standings. That's obviously very good, but Robbie's been consistently top 5 all season. He, like I said, he's the best driver to not win a race. So I think he can get done. Like I said, New Hampshire was fighting for the win and came up just short in second. So I think Robbie Racing, if he can make the Final 4, I think he's got a good shot for the playoffs. And with that, that will close out our Speed Collective National Series side of things. We'll be right back momentarily, in about 2 minutes, and we'll start going over our Pocono Raceway Cup Series side of things, and we'll start interviewing our Cup Series drivers. This is the Valor Racing League on YouTube. Alright, we're back on the Valor Racing League, and here we're going to start our Pocono Raceway Cup Series side of things. If you missed it, we just finished up our National Series talk and interviewed our National Series guys, 5 of them to be exact, who are in the playoffs and looking to make a playoff run for the championship. We heard from L. Griggs, who is seated 11th in the standings, Brennan, who's seated 9th, you have Robbie Racing seated 5th, Cyber Cabonic seated 4th, Katie, who is seated, I believe he is P3, so tough guys in there. We'll be talking to number 4. We have Coach Matt here momentarily, and after that we should hear from guys, potentially Jose, who was who was part-time start of the season, and when a seat opened up, he filled it for that Diesel Esports team. He came in, he made the playoffs. He is coming in seated, let's double check on this, we have Coach Matt seated 11th, who we'll talk to. We have Jose seated 9th, who we'll talk to. We should hear as well from Baronate in the number 6, who is seated 6th. Diesel Rothgibbs seated 4th. Mike RPM seated 3rd, and Max Boost, who has been the talk of the town of the Pocono Raceway Cup Series this season, seated 1st. With the most wins this season. I believe he accumulated his 6th win of the season at Pocono. So we'll hear from all those guys here as we go along. And over that, we'll go over the playoffs predictions and everything in that nature. With that, we'll start it off. Coach Matt, number 43, seated number 11th in that Montgomery Motorsports team. Rhino has one of the only teams to have all three drivers. Just notified that one of the only three drivers, one of the only teams, to have all three of their Cup Series, their main Cup Series drivers in the playoffs. Maybe my main is some guys do have dual rosters, dual roster drivers. For example, Brandon, number 95 in the Cup Series, he is a dual roster Cup driver. So, like I said, he has K Taddy seated 12th, Matt himself is seated 11th. Both at 1,000 points, and so we're going to hear from Max Booster on that team, who is seeded first with 1,026. A lot of points there. But Coach Matt, you got a copy. All right, Coach Matt, we would have talked to you in the National Series side of things, but you're the Cup Series side as well, so we had to kind of pick one and choose one. So we want to get you the Cup Series side of things. We had a very successful Cup Series season, seeded 11th in the standings heading in. On your season, you have had 2 top 5s and 6 top 10s. Which is quite impressive. You were contending with the guys with like Jose Pro driver on Xbox. So very good season, overall regular season for yourself. How would you describe your regular season? For sure, and once again, you mentioned that team, and that team is going to help you out a lot because you're. As I look at it, I do believe you are. Trying to double check this. I do believe you're actually the only team in the Pocono Raceway Cup Series. No, excuse me. You are one of the 2 teams. Like you're one of the 2 teams to have all 3 of the main drivers in the playoffs. So with that many guys going in, you have a fourth of the playoff field just on your team. How does that make you feel going in? For sure, and I'll ask you a question. We asked the National Series guys, 2 tracks coming up. For the Cup Series, this is where it changes. The Cup Series playoffs, the tracks change for the round of 12, round of 8, and round of 4, championship finale, are the same. But the round of 12, it goes to Charlotte Roval and then Las Vegas. We're going to Las Vegas for the second time this season in the Cup Series. With those 2 tracks coming up, how do you see yourself doing in the round of 12 and for the rest of the races in the playoffs? sure, man. And once again, one of the underdogs heading in, looking to make a big impact as he is a road course veteran. That is Coach Matt's thing. He's a great road course, but as he just mentioned, Charlotte Roval, not his favorite thing. So we're looking to see what you can do in the playoffs. Coach Matt, thank you for your time in the booth. And we kind of say, wait to see you on track tomorrow night and Tuesday night. That's Coach Matt, driver number 43, owner of the Montgomery Motorsports team, one of the only two teams to have all three of their main drivers in the playoffs. And let me just go ahead and mention, we had a few guys join in. Make sure party audios are set to allow so our audience can hear you. And once we'll do that, we will be going to the next driver who was part-time to start the season, joined in a little late with the league, and came in and did very well, was consistently top 10, top 12 around that area, and he was able to make the playoffs. He was 11th when the regular season ended, and right now he is seated in P9, the first spot out of the playoffs with 1,001 points going in. His one playoff point came with the stage win early in the season. Jose in the number 11 for the Diesel Esports team. Jose, do you have a copy? I can hear you. All right. Jose, thank you for joining with us. Once again, you started off as a part-time driver, and when a spot opened up at the Diesel Esports team, you took it, and you took that number 11 car to the playoffs. How would you grade your regular season? B-, that's all? For sure, that's one thing. The switch to consoles, it's not the easiest, as I can attest. So getting to know a whole new group of drivers and a whole new group of people how they race can be challenging, and you did it very well. Raced very cleanly all season, and you bought your time and got yourself into the playoffs. Charlotte Roval and Las Vegas coming up. How do you see yourself doing in those two races? Vegas. We're going there for the second time this season. One thing we've talked to a few drivers about during the duration of this stream is momentum, and you got your first top 3 finish this season. A very good, no, not first top 3, but you had one of your best consistent runs in the past few weeks at Darlington and at Pocono. Pocono Field Strategy came through 6th. Building momentum throughout the end of the regular season, does that go towards the playoffs for you? 10-4. Well, Jose, thank you for your time in the booth. We'll let you go. Sounds like you're busy. But thank you for your time once again, as always. Jose in 11th seed in the playoffs, looking to make make a point, make a statement here, as he's new to the PlayStation, guys, new to the PlayStation console. Yep. Next, that brings us to our number 6 seated driver in the number 6, Baronate, who is tied for second. This is the main thing of his season. Tied for second with the most top 10s this season. It's where he's been very consistently in the top 10, and that's what got him into the playoffs, and that's what got him to be seated 6th heading in. Baronate, you got a copy?
Yeah.
All right, Baron, you had a very impressive season so far. Right now, you are the second best rookie in the playoffs right now. Seed 6, just behind Cola Motorsports. You have 1,004 playoffs heading in. That puts you tied for 6th going in. Your regular season overall, how would you rate your regular season?
B minus.
That's all?
Yeah.
And you guys are very low on yourselves. 10 top 10s, just a B minus.
I mean, just the execution, you know.
I will say that's very high expectation for yourself. If 10 top 10s out of 15 races is a B minus, so we love to hear that though. We love to hear the expectation, what the guys think how they should be doing. You got a few tracks coming up that can fit in your strong suit. You have the Charlotte Roval and then Las Vegas, which you performed very well at the first time I went there, and 1.5 miles in general. How do you think you'll do in the playoffs?
I mean, I don't know. The past few weeks we've been better, so, you know, it's just if we can execute top 5 maybe, just be up there and get enough points to advance to the next round, then I think we can at least make the round of 8. I don't know about 4 though. That one's a tough one.
Pursue tracks like Phoenix and Talladega. If say you do make the round of 12, you go to the round of 8. Excuse me. How do you think you'll do with those two tracks, Talladega and Phoenix?
My problem at the other super speedway this season was the right front just was so bad, and I was stuck a lap down for over half the race. And once I did get it back, you know, one bad restart and they go green at the end. So it all depends on how things go there, whether it's fuel strat or not fuel strat. Phoenix, I think I'll do okay. You know, our short tracks have been decent at best. I think we could run top 5, but it all depends. You know, we had a top 5 car at Richmond. We had a top 5 car at Dover. New Hampshire could have been better, but it all depends on how it goes. I mean, it's unpredictable, these races. You know, you don't know how they're going to end. You don't know what's going to happen to you. So just make good cars and hope that things go your way.
That is that's been the thought process for a lot of guys. Also, you can just make good cars and just hope your luck is quite good going in. That's one thing I want to talk to you. Your luck hasn't been the best. You've brought some of the fastest cars you've had all season. The past few races, you ran top 5, top 3. A lot of the tracks past 2, 3, 4 weeks even. Does that build momentum for you? Your finish has not been that well. But bringing those fast cars, having leading a bunch of laps these past few races, and even getting some playoff points in the process, does that build momentum going to these next few races?
I mean, it gives motivation in terms of how I've been running. It's just, you know, the finishes aren't what I want and not what I feel like I deserve. So, you know, it's a good thing and a bad thing in a sense, because, you know, you run good, which you know you have the speed to do something, but, you know, you're getting screwed over with how the finishes go. So, and, you know, the playoffs is all about, you know, how your race goes. And, you know, stage points help a lot, but it's all about where you finish, I feel like, to advance more. And it kind of beats you down when you get bad finishes, when you consistently make cars that you think can actually win. Like Pocono, you know, we were able to hold on to the lead to win the first stage and then get second for the next one. And then, you know, we had the lead, we were battling for the lead with Max, you know, in stage 3 until fuel strategy came into play, and I barely saved enough, but I had to back off the pace, and it ruined a top 10 finish. You know, way worse than I thought I was running that race. So, I don't know. It's good and bad, but we'll see what happens.
For sure, and thank you once again. you're seed 6. You have a good bit of playoff points. You're up there with the likes of Big Destroyer and even myself. So a lot of momentum coming into the playoffs with the speed of your cars. Just hope your luck flips around, and we'll hopefully see you in the round of 8 and potentially an underdog for the round of 4. But Baron, thank you for your time in the booth, and we'll be looking to see you on the track Tuesday.
All right, appreciate it.
As we go halfway through our Pocono Raceway Cup Series interviews, we want to thank, obviously, our affiliation with Pocono Raceway and them allowing us to put their name on our Cup Series, and obviously the partnership we've had for now 4 seasons at the Valor Race League. Cannot thank them enough for everything they do for us. But go check them out on Twitter at Pocono Raceway for everything Pocono Raceway related. Next up, we go to the number 4 seed. We start going to our drivers with wins in this series. Number 4 seed, 1 win on the season, came at Darlington. Was in their set of 9 top 10s. That goes to number 18 now of Diesel _ Rothgeb. And Diesel, very impressive season so far. One of the only 4 drivers with wins this season. And same goes for Matt. One of the 2 teams with all 3 of your main drivers in the playoffs. How does that build? What kind of momentum does that build going in as a team owner, even as a driver?
Yeah, obviously, like y'all said earlier, it's nice having about, a fourth of the field in the playoffs being on your team, and guys that you know that you can work with and, try to benefit each other to advance through these playoffs, especially being that each round's only going to be 2 races, and you really don't have a chance to recover if you have a bad race there in that first race.
It's true. Once again, regular season, you picked up a win at Darlington. You've been very consistent almost all season. How would you rank your regular season?
I don't know. We'll give it a B+ or so. I feel like we've had a lot of speed. We haven't had the fluffy and the max speed, but been pretty close everywhere. Haven't really started that well, so we've had to kind of drive through the field at a couple places, including Darlington, where we got that win. But decent season overall. Just really haven't put an extreme amount of time into building these cars and these setups, and so we've been pretty close on speed. Haven't really had winning speed other than obviously at Darlington, a really good car there, but been consistent, and that's what we've kind of lived by, and just tried to take the results that we could get in advance week to week.
You said advance, and that's kind of the whole motto of playoff season, is survive in advance. And with these next tracks coming up, Charlotte Roval and Vegas, along with the rest of the playoff tracks, how do you think you'll do?
Yeah, so going to the back to the Pro League. Everybody knows I'm not really a road course guy, not really a big fan of road courses, but that's what we're dealt. So hopefully we have enough points here to start this first round to kind of give us a little bit of a cushion, and then round to round it's just going to be about that first race. Just not you can't win the championship in that first race, but you can definitely lose it and eliminate yourself if you have a really bad points day. So just manage that gap and get as many points as you can out of the stages, and maybe not push it too hard, and especially at the road course for me myself. Just not push it too hard. Don't put myself in any circumstance or position where I could ruin my chances at advancing. Like I said, I don't know what the points exactly are, but I think we got a little bit of a cushion with the playoff points and the win and all that. So hopefully just be able to survive, stay on the track, not get some untimely caution to put us in the back of the pack and then get wrecked. So just manage it, and we know who's going to be good there. We know Max and them are going to be flying around that place. So not going for a win necessarily, just trying to get as many points as I can.
For sure. And you mentioned the round of 12. It's going to be tricky for a lot of guys. But if you make the round of 12, like I said, you have you're sitting fourth in the seated fourth, excuse me, with 1,009 points. That does put you 8 over the 9th place cutoff. Round of 8, you got some of your preferred tracks, if you will. Say you do make it to the round of 8. How do you think your chances are to making it to round of 4?
What tracks we got in the round of 8? Phoenix, I take it. You said preferred.
And Talladega.
Oh, well, yeah, then if we can make it out of this first round, I feel really confident about making it to the Final Four. Obviously, we had the Pro League win at Talladega, which was the biggest moment of my pro career so far. And then Phoenix, I love running that track. And so far in 2 seasons of Pro League, I think we've had third place against just PS4 guys, and then I think fourth or fifth against Xbox and PS4 combined. So really like those 2 tracks. So if we can make it out of this first round, which hopefully we can, with a 9-point buffer, just manage that gap. Second round should be really good for us.
For sure. And once again, well, thank you for your time. Right now, sitting fourth seed in playoffs. Once again, same as Coach Matt. Got a fourth of the field in the playoffs is Diesel Esports. So this team should be strong going in, especially the driver like Cola Motorsports sitting second. This team should be one to watch, and same goes for Diesel Rothke with a bunch of his preferred tracks coming up. Thank you for your time, Diesel. Look to see you competing Tuesday.
Yep, thank you.
Next up, our fifth of our 6 drivers we'll be talking to goes to number 4 of Mike RPM. And Mike, you've had a very strong season yourself. Right now, seated third going in, with 1,016 points going in, which is a big buffer to the 9th place cutoff. You've had 2 wins so far this season, 1 at Daytona, and a very consistent season overall. How would you rank your regular season?
How's it going, Slade? It's been all right. I think early in the season we had a couple chances where we could have got an extra win or 2, but untimely yellows and that kind of thing put us out of position. But I mean, for the most part, it was a good season overall. Just wanted to get some playoff points. Looking at the schedule going in, I knew that the Roval, I wasn't going to be a top 3 car there, probably. I don't think I'm going to be, but I put in some extra time there, so if we can have an average day there with the points buffer, should be all right.
For sure, and your 2 wins this season have come at Daytona and Michigan, and with that playoff point buffer, we'll see you make the round of 8. Just out of thought here, make the round of 8. You have Talladega coming up, which, as I said, your 2 wins this season came with the big tracks. How are your with the men with that coming in? How do you think you'll do at Talladega, even that round of 8 at Phoenix?
I mean, it's nice to have Talladega, that first race of that round, because that's, you can either gain a lot of points or you can lose a lot of points there, and I've been pretty fortunate to put myself at the front of these races at most of the time at the plate track. So hopefully we can just point our way in at Talladega. So Phoenix, we won't really have to do much, because I mean, I know Corey was saying that's one of his strong suits, but that's one of my weaker tracks. So if we can get to Homestead, we'll have a shot for sure, because that car at Homestead is a pretty fast car. So.
And you mentioned that, and with the likes of Max Boost, Cola Motorsports in this playoff battle, it's going to take a win at Homestead to win the championship. Every year NASCAR goes through and says that. It pretty much takes a win to win the championship. And you mentioned you really like Homestead. How do you feel your chances of winning that race and coming with the championship this season?
I mean, if we get to Homestead, I think anything can happen. I've ran against, who I think I'm probably going to have to run against if I do race for a championship, which is probably going to be, Max and Cola, and I don't know, who could that other driver could be? Corey, Big D. You never know, and I know those guys have really fast cars at Homestead too. So, I mean, Homestead, it could come down. I mean, who knows? It's a wild card.
It's toss up. And one thing, Mike, we got to mention, you did take a few races off in the regular season. You were locked in. You had the minimum amount of races you need to run. You kind of wanted to take a few weeks off, clear the head, and to get ready for these playoffs and to practice for these playoffs. Did that break help you? Did it get you, I guess, I won't say mentally prepared, but taking a few weeks off of racing, getting settled into playoff mode, which is a thing that racers go through, going to playoff mode, the survival and advance kind of deal. Did that little break give you an advantage, or maybe not even an advantage, but give you a little time, maybe get you into better playoff mode for these next 5 weeks?
I mean, yeah, it for sure did. It gave me a nice little time to practice at, say, I put in a lot of time at the Charlotte Roval the past couple of weeks, because I haven't had to working on Pocono or Darlington the past couple of weeks with the points buffer and running minimal amount of races for full time. So I'd say it helped, you know, a little bit, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, if it helped or not.
For sure. Once again, Mike, thank you for your time in the booth. Look forward to seeing you Tuesday in the action. As you said, Charlotte Roval, looking for an average day. Who knows, average day could come down to fuel strategy, could have come home with a win. You never know.
Thanks, Lloyd.
Yep, Mike RPM, driver number 4, once again seated third in the playoffs, looking for a strong run going in. And lastly, our last interview of the night, as we're going to wrap up here things in the next 5 minutes. So thank you for everybody who's tuned in with us for the entirety of the stream. Hopefully you guys are as hyped as we are for these next few races going into the playoffs, and I can find the 77. We can start this interview. And there we go, Max Boost, driver number 77. I'm putting on the sponsorless car for the guys. Oh, I don't have a sponsorless car. Okay, Max Boost in the number 77. Right now, seated first in the standings with 1,026 total points, 6 wins on the season, with a fantastic run. Max Boost, you're going to grade this very high, but how would you grade your regular season in terms of just speed, just overall finishing?
I'd probably give it an A, a pretty solid like A.
I would expect that. 6 wins. You had 4 stage wins, which accumulated to your. That would equal. Let's see. That would equal your 22 playoff points, and of course, with your 6th place regular season finish, giving you another 2, so 26 does seed you first over the regular season champion of Color Motorsports, who is 1,025, just 1 less than you. With that many points, that many wins, you had a very successful season, regular season so far. Does that playoff point buffer give you any security going in, or is it kind of I'm still going to run if you've now below the cutoff?
I'm still going to run it hard. Like I need to get every point I can. I mean, you just never know with the playoffs. I've had unlucky situations with internet connection before, so stage points can be very important. So I'm just going to give it my all and try not to piss off any people as I do it. I mean, that's the name of the playoffs, man.
That can come back to bite you, as we, for the real NASCAR fans 2015, we do remember Matt Kenseth and Joey Logano. So hopefully nothing like that happens. That will reward some penalty points for drivers. So if anything like that happened, but one thing you're going to get the only question I think nobody else is going to get. Nobody else will get. You won the Season 2 championship. That was the last time we ran a full season in VRL, or it used to be MBN at the time. You were in the 48 car. You were to win Pocono, and had a very good season then. And the name of your season then was you kind of ran. You're kind of like an 8th place guy in points wise. Obviously you run a little better than that. But then the season you come off strong and you shine in the playoffs. It's about the same, honestly. You're averaging about top 3 guy all season, and you came away with some strong wins in the later half of the regular season. Do you think you can repeat what you did in season 2?
Yeah, we have a bunch of good tracks coming up. Obviously, the Roval is going to be one that I'm really hoping to win. I mean, obviously, these races aren't easy. You got to earn it. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, Las Vegas is going to be another good track. I felt like I could have won it earlier this season, but there's some strategy there. But overall, I feel like I do have a good chance to defend that championship title. It's wild that it comes down to one race. I'm still not used to that. So, I mean, anything can happen, but I mean, I'm fully prepared to defend the last season title.
I'm going to ask one more question for you out here. You are the all-time winner here at the Valor Racing League, and to add on to that achievement, you and Cola Motorsports are competing for the most wins in a season in the Valor Racing League Pocono Raceway Cup Series. The record's 5. It was held by you in season 2, of course. But right now you have 6 wins in the season. Cola Motorsports has 4, and Cola's been fast all season. He was very, very competitive, almost dominant the first half of the season. He won the regular season championship. Everybody's expecting y'all to go head-to-head with even some guys, with a few guys sprinkled in there. Mike, Diesel, Big D, Celtics even, guys like that compete with you guys. But most people expect this to be the Cola and Max show. It's been a battle all season between y'all two. How do you think it'll go in these next 5 races between you two?
Oh man, it's gonna be me versus him every single race, dude. We always find each other on the track. I have so much respect for Cola. He's ridiculously fast everywhere we go, and I enjoy racing him because we can always go side by side. We might bump into each other, but we'll give each other a little room afterwards. And I felt like there's no bad blood there. So I mean, we're gonna be at it every race, every single race for the rest of the season, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'd like to see. I would love to win the championship, but it would be cool to see Cola win the championship and then go on to make the Pro League next season. I would love to see that personally.
Well, that would continue the trend of VRL drivers winning a championship and then making the Pro League. As you remember, you were not in the Pro League when you won the Season 2 championship, and then won the Pro Season, and you were able to make it in the Chip Ganassi team. So hopefully trends, we have some Larry Mack trends over here at Valor. If he can do that, we'll send another trend for us. But Max, thank you for your time in the booth. You've had a great season yourself. Didn't come up with the regular season championship, but have the most playoff points going into the playoffs, and you're seated first with 1,026 points, a 25-point buffer over ninth. So already a great buffer into the playoffs, and we cannot wait to see how you do in these final 5 races.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. That was Max Booth, Driver 77, looking to stay out front as he's done most of the season here in the playoffs. As we mentioned, everybody, that was our last interview of the night, and we've already mentioned this several times in the past few interviews. The PRCS playoff schedule goes as followed. Starts off, we head to the Charlotte Roval in Las Vegas for the second time this season. Unlike the National Series, as we've mentioned, is the Charlotte Oval and then Road America. The Cup Series, it's the Roval and then Las Vegas. That's the round of 12. The round of 8 goes to Talladega and Phoenix, same as the National Series. And the round of 4 goes to Homestead as well, same as the National Series. So we cannot wait for those to come up. Once again, we'll thank everybody for tuning into the VRL Playoff Pre-Show, brought to you by Double G Roofing, Construction, and Roofing. We want to thank them and everybody, especially L. Griggs, for sponsoring the playoffs this season. Make sure to check them out as the ad we put out there on our tweet. Just a short day ago, you can go call the number there and get more info on that, or message L. Griggs on Twitter. And also got to thank our sponsor of the Speedway Collective, for sponsoring our national series and staying with us for a solid 3 seasons so far. We're looking to have more great seasons with those guys at Speedway Collective, and as well as everybody at Pocono Raceway for making it 4 strong seasons with us in the Valor Racing League and our affiliation with the Pocono Raceway people. That's going to do this for us here tonight in the commentary booth, if you will. I'm Slade Gravy, and we cannot wait for the playoffs to start here at the Valor Racing League. Hopefully you guys tune in tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we'll be at the Charlotte Oval, excuse me. You gotta flip it up there. Charlotte Oval for the National Series, and then Tuesday night we'll be at the Charlotte Roval for the Pocono Raceway Cup Series. So we have 2 excellent races to kick off our playoff season in the best way possible. Once again, we'll catch you guys tomorrow night and Tuesday night for our round 1 of the playoffs. Thank you to everybody for tuning in and all that. See you next time.